Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here, Golden Opportunities Coaching. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you who are seasoned veterans. And what we do around here, we discuss psychological, emotional coaching, and spiritual related topics in a audio format on a daily basis. There are over 225 audios at this point for you to check out. Hopefully you find something that's useful to you. Please like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. But today we're going to talk about the duties of a best friend. I've done other audios on best friends and how rare but important they are. This is a little bit different in that we're going to look at the 8 or 9 things that a best friend often is tasked with doing, or in some way it's beneficial if a best friend does these things. The first is support during a hardship. Support can be emotional, mental, physical, like a place to stay, financial, help you out with money. But the idea is when you're going through a hardship, when you're going through a difficult time, they ultimately will be supportive of whatever you need and almost intuitive to a degree. They may be able to help you get through a traumatic experience by knowing you well enough to know what you need based on what support mechanisms you've benefited before in lesser circumstances, and also knowing through conversations, hey, you said if this ever happened, here's what you would need. That's why the value of a best friend is helpful, because usually you've talked through random, unlikely scenarios of hardship, and you kind of know how to triage the situation. The next is they deal with you in a real way. So they push you to become a better version of yourself. They encourage you to confront your fears. They are real with you when you're messing up, but they're not harsh about it unless it's absolutely necessary. Sometimes tough love is a part of that relationship, but most times it's just a nudge in a direction of, do you really want to do this? They ask powerful questions to get you to look at yourself differently. They probe you in ways that will make you reconsider things that are not in your best interest, and more than anything, they try to bring the best out of you and level you up at every given opportunity. The next is kind of counterintuitive to that. They also know when to back off, when to give you space, when to give you space to process, when to give you space to think, when to give you space because you're not handling your emotions in a way that's going to be good for the relationship or for yourself. They know how to check in on you, ask a few questions quickly, and then get out of Dodge if it's not going to help the relationship or help you to continue the conversation. Another factor with a best friend, they don't take those situations personally. So they may look at you and say, hey, you really need to address this, but I get it if you're not ready. I'm here when you are. So there's an unconditional factor to a best friendship where they accept you where you are to try to get you where you're going. They don't put pressure on you to be anything less than 100% of your best self. And if you're at 50% today, maybe you'll get to 60% tomorrow. There's a journey aspect to that relationship. The next is they know how to set boundaries, but they also know how to push your boundaries. This is a delicate balance that very few people ever get to with another person. So the reality of having a best friend who can do this is an extremely valuable thing socially and in terms of mental and emotional development, because they will honor your boundaries, respect you at all times, but get you to question like, hey, is this really healthy for you? And then leave it alone, let it breathe. Hey, do you really want to engage in drinking so much tonight? And then let it breathe. And they are trying to gently guide you and steer you towards the circumstances that are best for you without telling you what to do. A true friend will only give advice when it is requested or when they think, hey, you're not thinking about this clearly. I don't want to step on your toes, but I do want to step in and just say ABC. But at the end of the day, the decision is still yours. It's an intricate thing, and it's hard for people to learn how to do that, and it takes time and dedication and commitment to the relationship. I talked about this a little bit before, but growth. They encourage you to meet your fitness goals. They encourage you to meet your educational goals. They encourage you to meet your other relationship goals. They hold you accountable when you make a promise to yourself that you're not keeping. They hold you accountable when you're out of alignment with your personal character. They help you to grow by going and doing and being with you doing new things. But a best friend is a catalyst for positive and productive growth in every area of your life. Research has shown the next thing to be true. I wish I had the statistics in front of me, but people that have a best friend, especially during formative years like middle school and high school, tend to be happier. They are better able to deal with the emotional roller coaster of puberty and hormones and social acceptance, social awkwardness, and all the things that come with the coming of age, adulthood transition. Having a best friend gives you a similar person or group of people. It is possible to have more than one best friend, to bounce ideas off of, formulate opinions, formulate moral compass, and all of those good things. They will have your back in situations where you're being talked about, negatively gossiped about, negatively impacted. They'll have your back in a physical fight if necessary. They'll have your back emotionally when you can't cope with yourself or what you're going through. Basically, there's a level of, going into the second to last thing, there's a level of loyalty to the foundation of the relationship. So the quality of the relationship, the length of the relationship, the value of the relationship means more than any emotional feelings one may have. The relationship is more important than a given person's emotional state, and will be for the reality of and length of the relationship itself. People are loyal to the development and continuation of the friendship because it's been useful and helpful and been mutually beneficial before. And so the emotional state a person's in doesn't often challenge or shake a best friend relationship, because that's not the foundation it's built on. The last is the ability to forgive. While we may never forget, or we may forget quickly, depending on the person, depending on how their mind works, forgiveness for misunderstandings or harsh words or mistakes of conduct is a central foundational aspect to the development of a lasting long-term relationship. And so the ability to forgive each other and the willingness. So forgiveness takes two things. It takes ability, which is humility. Hey, I forgive you. And it takes willingness. Hey, even though I don't really want to, I'm willing to do this because of the value of our relationship for both of us. And so that is a central figure as well. But until next time, I encourage you, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.